in studio today. Joining myself is Eric Bay, and we're here to talk about something that I'm assuming most people, if not all people, are going to be watching this weekend, and that is Super Bowl 54, Super Bowl Live here. And Eric, this is one that has, I guess, quite a bit of backstory to it, especially with both coaches each having appeared in Super Bowls before this.
Yeah, this is kind of, I guess you could say, a redemption game of sorts for these guys. Obviously, Andy Reid is coming in here, hasn't been around since 2006 there with the Eagles, was beaten by Bill Belichick and the Patriots, so a long time coming from him. He was obviously longtime coach of the Eagles there as well, and now obviously trying to take the Chiefs to their Super Bowl. First time they've been there in 50 years as well. And then you mentioned there on the other side of the ball, Kyle Shanahan, he's now getting his shot as a head coach and was there during the Falcons' 28-3 lead that was blown, playing offensive coordinator. So definitely a shot for these two, get some redemption and kind of wipe the slate clean for them.
And for the 49ers, you know, it's been since 2013, so not quite as long for them going to the Super Bowl. And, I mean, you mentioned Andy Reid. He's one of the best coaches of all time. He's actually the most winningest coach without a Super Bowl. So for him, he's really got that chip on his shoulder. And I think, you know, some of the guys, they're going to want to do it for him, if not for themselves. But I mean, when you get into that Super Bowl scenario, I think it's all on the line. Anybody who's injured, who's, you know, whatever it may be, is really going to be going out there. And there's a couple key injuries, especially for the Chiefs on the D side of the ball there, Eric.
Yeah, definitely one thing to look at for sure is Chris Jones. Obviously, he was limited in that championship game, has a problem there with his leg, so he should be good. 2 weeks off, obviously, is pretty much does the work there for anyone playing in a sport like football, obviously, so he should be good. He was only allowed to be in kind of third down situations for the Chiefs there last time, but he should be pretty effective there, paired up again on that D-line, so pretty good rush for sure on Jimmy Garoppolo.
So the Chiefs, they got Sorensen and Frank Clark are two of their key pieces, with Sorensen leading all playoffs, or I guess everybody in this game who's playing in tackles, and Clark leading all of playoffs in sacks. I guess they're not really known as much for the defense, and specifically because of their stellar offense led by Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, definitely all that focus does go on the offense. I mean, there's just so many weapons, right? Patrick Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, fastest guy in the game. I mean, Sammy Watkins might only be their number 3 receiver, and he was the 4th overall pick. But their defense definitely has improved this year. You mentioned Frank Clark there, and again, Chris Jones, if he is healthy, great defensive ends. And another guy you never mentioned too is Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. He's kind of been that heart and soul leader there from the safety position. He was flying all over the field against the Titans, so I expect him to do pretty well here and be a big part of this Super Bowl Sunday.
Now, Eric, while we keep on the topic of defenses, let's talk about the 49ers and specifically their D-line, which has been an absolute beast throughout this season, starting off with rookie defensive end Joey Bosa.
You mean Nick Bosa? Yeah, he's good. His brother, I mess that up all the time too, but I mean, Nick could be Defensive Rookie of the Year, led the team in sacks and pressures, so obviously just a great season for him, but that's something they've built up here for the past few years. Obviously, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, both former first-rounders. Dee Ford came over from the Chiefs, actually. And I mean, Solomon Thomas, former 3rd overall pick, isn't even in the starting lineup just because they're so deep there. So they've done a good job all season. They had the top passing defense in the game this season, so it should be a good opportunity here for Mahomes. They just got to keep him contained and make sure they give him as little time as possible to make those plays.
So, Eric, Mahomes is being sacked twice in these playoffs and only has a loss of 2 yards between those two. So how important is it for that D-line to get on him quick and make sure he can't be the playmaker that he loves to be?
I mean, that's just it. They got to be on him quick because obviously we mentioned all those weapons, Hill, Kelce, and he can make plays with his feet too. So they have to be there quick, getting that pressure, but also making sure they are disciplined, not getting too far upfield so they are able to contain him so he can't, scramble out of the pocket, either extend plays with his arm or his legs.
Now, one player that we haven't talked about much is George Kittle for the 49ers. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league, arguably the best tight end in the league, with another person being Kelce, who's in that discussion, also in that game. How can he change this game for the 49ers?
And I mean, you talk there, might be the best in the game. He's probably the best run blocking tight end in the game. So I think really, if it's not in the pass game, that's who's going to affect this. They love that running game in San Francisco. They have the three-headed monster with Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, and Tevin Coleman. So I think him in the running game, he's big, he's physical. So I think that's kind of where he affects this game here.
Now, Eric, one last question. Who's your pick for the game?
It's going to be close. Obviously, great offense, great defense. I think defense wins championships. 49ers by 3.
Well, defense wins championships, and he puts a score on it too. I guess only time will tell. We'll see you on Monday.